In a time far away when we were children at play, when us girls wore ribbons in our hair, we would skip, we would run, playing out on the lawn. And when it rained, we'd play some more. Go to the light, let the demons fight. They don't know what they're doing sometimes.
Simone Keane, it is such a pleasure to welcome you to Mostly Folk. And wow, it's actually the second time because we had a session before that didn't work out because of microphone feedback. But this one is perfect and the sound is great. And I'm so happy that you're joining me all the way from Western Australia. It's just past 9 in the morning now, 9:18, but in Australia, it's 9 p.m. And
Yeah.
I'm glad that you're up this late. You're probably normally up this late. I'm not, but thank you
Yeah,
for
I am.
joining me. And let me give you a little background. Let me give the folks a little background here. And I'm taking this directly from Simone's website, which is Simone Keane, KEANE.com. And it says after a total of 5 nominations from her album Burning, not long after she retreated from the spotlight for some personal healing after realizing she had not given herself time to process the effects of intimate partner violence. Keane found the energy to record 2 albums in the safety of a local studio run by Mike Cranage. Whale Breathing was a 2016 collaboration with poet Giles, is that how you say it? Giles Watson, and Wild Things, a 2018 album. No matter what has happened to me throughout my life, I'm now compelled to weave it into a moving melody. That's how I levitate about that stuff. And I write songs, sing my little heart out, says Simone Keane. And I'm so glad that you're here with me today. Simone, tell the folks a little bit about yourself and how you got involved in singing.
I loved singing and dancing when I was a little girl. I used to dance around to my parents' vinyl collections. Dancing Queen and ABBA was often playing. And I used to watch Countdown, a show in Australia called Countdown, which was a bit like your MTV, and watch performers and think, gee, I'd really like to be a songwriter one day or a dancer or an actress. I had all these sort of fantasies. And yeah, it wasn't until I was in my 30s actually that I started to take performing and songwriting seriously. I used to do a couple of songs for, school concerts in primary school and things like that when I first started learning the guitar. But then I went to uni, discovered life, boys, all that sort of thing, and I just didn't pick up the guitar. I just sort of forgot about doing that. And then one day, songwriting, it just happened. I just felt like writing a song, so I picked up my old guitar and just started writing little bits and pieces of songs, which I think I needed at the time to help. I don't know, I needed to get some stuff out of me. I didn't have a therapist or a counselor at the time, so I just started writing songs as a way of, I guess, self-soothing. And then someone said to me, oh, I think it was a housemate at the time, hey, you should get out there and perform these. And so I sort of slowly started easing into it and yeah, recorded some CDs and now it's all led to this one. my current one, which is Graced by Leaves, which is getting airplay in the United States, hence you discovering me.
Is this the first time that that's happened, that your music is getting airplay in the United States?
It is, yeah.
Wow, that's so great.
Yeah.
What took
Yeah, it
so
is.
long?
Because I didn't know how to I promote myself. I didn't know how it all worked. I just
Mm.
thought that you released an album and then magically someone would discover it. But then I realized that this is the fifth album now. I realized that that doesn't happen. I mean, you get known in your own
Yeah.
town and your own state, but I had to do a lot of research. I did 2 months about roughly research on how to promote an album before I released Grace by Leaves. And one of the things I came across when I was Googling was who promotes folk music. And that's where I came across Folk Alliance International.
Wow.
And I became a member, and they gave me a list of DJs. And I just started sending my music digitally out to some DJs, and some of them got back to me. Some of them asked for hard copies, and so I went to the post office with 10 packages,
Oh,
and and then the lady serving me said, "Oh, that'll be $250." And I went, "What?
yeah.
Really?" She goes, "Yeah,
You
it's
gotta be kidding.
$25 a package to post a CD." And I thought, okay, I wasn't getting much airplay. I realized that the folk DJs like real music. They like the hard copy. They like the good quality. Well, most of them do. And so I did some more research, and then I came across, is it Art Menius or Manius? Art Menius? How do you
Arminius,
pronounce
yes.
Art Menius?
Smart decision.
Offered, I realized he was offering a mail out service. And so I thought, this is a long shot. I wonder if he'll help someone from Western Australia. And he said, yeah, post a box over and I will mail them out. That's a service that I provide. And so, that did cost money, but it would have cost me 3 times that amount if I was sending them individually myself from Australia. And then once the CDs started arriving in the United States, that's when I started getting airplay. And I remember you getting in touch saying that you liked the digital files, but you had received a CD, but it had ignited your sort of curiosity about my music, that mail
Yeah.
out service. So this is one of my songs called My Wicked Burial. Lay my body softly down in a casket made of a wicker casket of flax and reeds woven by a weaver. There's no need for a service in a church, just a few words where you can hear the birds. Please bury me beneath the canopy, cover me in autumn leaves, where the worms can turn my body into food for a big old tree. If I get to be a little old lady, stooped over, creaking at
we could lay my body softly down in the light of a waning moon, a moon that lets her hair hang down. Could you play some of my simple little tunes? Please bury me beneath the canopy, cover me in golden leaves. That'll be my eternal resting place. Could somebody do that for me with revelry and chivalry? I want to be a part of something that gives so much grace, shade, air, life, a place for a nest to rest, hollows for honeybees, birds and berries. Do you remember those beautiful times? How we tied a swing to a sturdy bough and swung out over a river, singing old nursery rhymes. I don't want to be buried in a coffin, varnished nails and lacquer. Please place my body softly in a casket made of wicker, woven by a weaver of gentle flax and reeds. And if I get to do a little haunting, some may think it's just an autumn breeze, but some may see the spirit of a woman swirling and twirling and kicking up all the
Simone's latest album is titled Grace by Leaves. Oh, wait. Yeah. And
Yeah,
so,
there it is.
yeah, there it is. There's the album.
I don't
And
know
it's
if that's
a
back to front
Can you
or
bring it closer to the camera so folks can see I'm going to put a picture of that at the beginning of this interview. Grace by Leaves, and Simone is wearing this incredible headdress. Talk about that in uh, in lieu of the album also, because the album does have a special message.
wow, that is really observant of you. Thank you so much for asking about my headdress. So there are raven feathers that I collected from my garden. I live amongst a lot of peppermint weeping. They're sort of like willows, but they're a eucalypt here. And at a certain time of year, all these raven feathers, they drop them, they fall out of them. And I started collecting them before I even thought I was going to be making this album. So I had all these raven feathers, wondering what am I going to do with them. And then the idea for this album came to me, and the title track, Grace by Leaves, is actually a song about mourning for the things in our lives that we lost, that graced our lives. And it starts off with a tree from my childhood that was cut down that I loved. I used to climb that tree. That was my magical faraway tree. And it was cut down to make room for extensions on the house that my family home I was growing up in. And that was my first experience of losing something that really meant something to me. It was a beautiful big tree with red berries on it, and you could sit on the horizontal branches. It was a very old tree. And then the song becomes a metaphor for the people that we've lost throughout our lives that really meant something to us. So that cover picture is in a way like the mourning, like the darkness of my outfit. And there's a line in the song that says, all my fanciful wishes flew away on a black crow's wings.
Mm.
You know, that innocence of childhood just sort of went away when you realize that the things that you love aren't always going to be there.
Yeah. Wow. It's kind of chilling, actually, when you think about it. This album has received numerous accolades, I'm sure, in Western Australia as well as the United States. In addition to your upbringing, and what did you do before you really started writing music?
So I originally studied to be a journalist, and I did start working for a daily newspaper.
Ah,
And I was very naive. I didn't know much about politics, like different sides of the political spectrum, left, right. I was just me wanting to get a cadetship, be a journalist. And then after a couple of years working there, trying to work my way up, I realized I was in a very conservative environment, a political environment, and I realized, well, I just wasn't fitting in. I didn't fit in there at all. And it was quite hard. And I realized that being a journalist isn't all about being just because you can write creatively doesn't mean you're going to enjoy being a reporter. I was very sensitive too. So then I went back to university and studied teaching, and I ended up working in a girls' college, and I was teaching English and drama and dance. And then that was in Victoria in Australia. And then I moved to Western Australia. I met a fella, and we thought we're just going to drive across the country and just have fun and start a life. And he applied for university in Murdoch University in Perth. And we drove over. Things didn't work out. And I drove 5 hours south to where I live now. And this is where I met a producer by the name of Les Karski, who recognized something in me musically, like he saw me performing. And he said, let's record an EP. So we recorded a little EP called Moon Tunes, and then an album called Burning. And then I met Mick Cranich, who also lives here, and we recorded Whale Breathing, and we recorded Wild Things. And then I thought, okay, I've learnt a lot about production. I like what I've done so far. I'm going to take it up a notch now. And I got in touch with a fellow that had mastered my Burning CD. And I said, would you be able to be my producer from the very start of this album, please? And it just turned into this huge project, which is Grace by Leaves. And I was flying back up and back to Perth, Albany to Perth. And we were, took us 3 years. But yeah, I'm really proud of it because he's an exceptional producer and he helped me get through it.
Great. That's great.
They say that she has given up on love, but that's not exactly the case. She just prefers the company of trees, kicking up the leaves in the forest, kicking up the leaves, watch them floating round like birds, floating round like words unspoken. 3 leaves for the bleeding, 4 leaves for the memory, 5 leaves for the mess he left, 6 leaves for the tree, 7 leaves for a little baby, 1 leaf for a teardrop, 2 leaves for the sea, 3 leaves for the bleeding, 4 leaves for the memory, 5 leaves for the mess he left, 6 leaves for the tree, 7 leaves for a little baby, kicking up the leaves for a little baby. 1 leaf for a teardrop, 2 leaves for the sea, 3 leaves for the bleeding, 4 leaves for the memory, kicking up the leaves.
It says in your notes on your website that your personal journey has not been easy due to trauma-related stress. Is this something that happened with relationships, or I guess part of the reason why you're still living by yourself and happy to be so, but what is that about? If you
Yeah,
don't want to
so
talk
it's
about it, that's fine.
no, it's all right. So because I bring it up in my, I allude to it. So I've experienced the term for it, the popular term for it is domestic violence. And like I'd come out of one dysfunctional relationship and I would quickly meet someone else, and I never gave myself time to heal or figure out who I was. So I'd fall into the same pattern and it kept going. The pattern just continued and continued. And all that time, I realized I was actually in this sort of state of high anxiety and trauma because of the trauma. I mean, when I was 20, I was in hospital getting my head stitched back together. Some pretty serious injuries I sustained, and it was so I was so desensitized to it all. It almost seemed normal until I was out of it, and then I didn't quite know what to do with my freedom. What do I do? I've never felt this kind of freedom. I'm in complete control of myself here. And I had to adjust to just say, look, no more boyfriends, just for a while, just be on your own and do a lot of self-care. I had to really tell myself to look after myself. But it took a lot of growing up to become a bit older and wiser and realize that I'd been in a high state of anxiety for a long time because I was hardwired that way. It's like if you're just expecting something bad to happen all the time, and that's what I was like. It was like this sense of impending doom following me around all the time, thinking, why, when am I going to be happy? It was depression. I had depression. I had to climb out of a dark hole. And I talked about carry trees before, the trees that are endemic to our area here. They don't grow anywhere else in the world. Carry trees in the rain is a collaboration with Giles Watson, the poet. And that's about going into a grove of carry trees to find solace. It starts off because there's nowhere left to turn and no one left to find. I go down to the Carry Grove to quench my burning mind. And it's just all about the healing power of nature, being in a forest.
I know that it's getting to be bedtime and getting to be closer to bedtime in Australia. I still have a whole day in front of me. And I am more than thrilled to be able to speak with you. It's certainly a unique experience for me to talk with an artist from Australia. It's a place I've, heard so much about, and it just seems like an incredible place to live. And I want to thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you so much, Artie, for having me. It's been a wonderful chat, and I really appreciate that. So have a great day.
You too. Enjoy it.
Thank you.
Well, enjoy your sleep tonight.
Thank you.
Take care, Simone. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Since they took you